morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Whitehead from ula.la and barnlau.la, Lau's leading online marketplaces for vehicles, real estate, and just about anything else. Today, we're speaking with Mr. Simon from Canberra, Australia, about Australian investment options and particularly why more and more Asian investors are considering purchasing property in Canberra, Australia. Good morning, Simon. How's it going over there in Canberra?
Morning, James. Yes, thanks for having us. My name is Simon Chester. I'm the Director of Channel Sales and Strategic Partnerships here at GEOCON Group in Canberra, and we're Australia's fourth largest builder developer. Looking forward to chatting to you and your guests today.
Oh, that's fantastic, Simon. Thanks for joining us. So to get the ball rolling, let's chat a little bit about why is Australia becoming such a popular place for Asian immigrants in 2020? What's happening over there?
Yeah, well, I think Australia's always generally been seen as a pretty safe place to invest money, to study, to visit, to travel. But Canberra in particular is really on the rise. And I think that the three key factors driving that are the university sector here in Canberra, with 5 major universities, which we'll get into a little bit later. Also the fact that Canberrans or people investing in Canberra get 5 points towards their permanent residency. So by living and investing in Canberra, you have your easiest path towards PR. And also the fact that in the ACT, we don't charge a foreign stamp duty surcharge. So we welcome foreign investment and don't charge additional fees like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and the other capital cities. So those 3 factors are really making Canberra stand out and are driving migration and immigration into the city.
Very good. Makes sense. And what are some of the immigration benefits for moving to Australia compared to more traditionally popular markets for Asian investors such as the USA, the UK and Europe? Why are people looking more to Australia now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the current situation in the US is certainly an advantage for Australia and probably the UK as well. It's whilst it does have a very prestigious and renowned education system, the current riots and whatnot there are probably steering people towards the UK and Australia. And then I guess when you look at Australia and the United Kingdom, traditionally Sydney and London are the most sort of sought after destinations, but people are starting to look at the second tier cities. And when I say second tier, in the UK, your Manchester's and your Birmingham's. Canberra's very similar to that. We've got the number 1 university in Australia, the Australian National University, based here in Canberra. 3-hour drive from Sydney. And as I mentioned previously, we are welcoming investors by offering points towards permanent residence and zero additional taxes on their investment purchases. So they're probably the key drivers.
Yeah, perfect. And I guess in the past, the most popular destinations when people immigrated to Australia were generally Sydney and Melbourne. Now we're seeing more and more growth in Canberra. Why is this?
Price has a big part to do with it. So, the median house price in Canberra is around the 900,000 mark, which is very expensive. You can get a house in the outer parts of Sydney for that. But we have units starting from $200,000 US, which is very affordable and about half the price of Sydney. During times of crisis and the current pandemic, the fundamentals of Canberra have remained quite stable, and that's off the back of a federal government being based here in Canberra. Over half of Canberra work in the federal government. They're paid very well. Their jobs are secure. So that's attracting a lot of people to invest in what is seen as a much safer capital city than some of the others.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the education sector. We know that education in Canberra is a big driver for a lot of the immigration. Tell us a bit more about some of the education options available here.
Yeah, so education's a huge part of the makeup of Canberra. There's 65,000 students, 20,000 of those are international students across 5 universities. Australian National University, which is the number 1 university in Australia and the only university in the world's top 20. We have the University of New South Wales, which has a large campus in Canberra, the University of Canberra, Charles Sturt University, and the Australian Catholic University. So across those 5 universities, you've got over 65,000 students, and they're growing at a rapid rate. So it's very much outside of government, education's the second biggest sector.
Mm. Oh, fantastic. So it's a great place for investors from Laos or China who are looking for study options for their kids as well. That's great.
Absolutely.
My next question, Simon, is you've mentioned a little bit about how COVID and the pandemic is affecting Canberra. Let's consider this as well in the following question. But what are the main economic strengths of the Canberra economy in 2020? Tell us a bit more about the economy generally.
Yeah, well, if anything, COVID has highlighted Canberra's fundamentals. Whilst we've seen unemployment soar in other capital cities, it's remained steady and in recent months dropped in Canberra, and that's because of government. The federal government's based here, and as different initiatives come out, more people are needed in the ACT in Canberra to be able to manage things like the JobKeeper incentive, the home builder incentive. All these economic stimulus packages that the government's bringing out are all administered from Canberra. So the fundamentals of Canberra have been highlighted by the pandemic. There's very limited land in Canberra. Canberra's about roughly the same size as Singapore, and the availability of land is scarce. So the fundamentals of Canberra have remained strong during the pandemic, and if anything, have probably been highlighted as other capital cities have struggled.
Fantastic. Yep. And I think that idea of the security of the market based on the public sector and the government influence in Canberra will really resonate to Lao investors who understand this sort of climate as well when they're investing in real estate around government entities in Lao. This is a secure investment. That's very good. My next question, Simon, is a bit more focused on the real estate sector. So how is the real estate market broadly in Canberra at the moment? And what sort of returns can investors expect? And in terms of returns, I'm interested about rental returns, but I'm also interested about how property is appreciating in the market as well.
Yeah. Look, the Canberra property market's a shining light within Australia. We have the lowest vacancy rates at under 1%. We have the highest yields at over 6%. Now, capital growth is very steady. You're not going to get double-digit growth like you will in some years that you do in Sydney, not every year, but you're looking at between 4 to 6% year on year. And years where Sydney's seen some big dips like it did last year, Canberra remains steady. It's a very steady market when it comes to capital growth, but it's the highest yielding market that there is in Australia.
For rentals?
Correct.
Right? Yeah. And some of your GEOCON projects are offering as much as 7% guaranteed rental return for 10 years, right?
For 2 years, yeah. All our properties come with a rental guarantee, 7%, 2 years. So it just takes that worry away from those initial investors that are worried about it having whether or not there'll be a tenant or not. We know the market inside out. We're a Canberra-based company. We know the numbers and the fundamentals. So we have confidence to be able to offer a rental guarantee to all our investors.
Very good. And just a quick additional question to this. Are there finance options available for internationals investing in property in Canberra?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the past year alone, we've sold over 250 properties to international investors, predominantly in Asia. We've sold into Hong Kong, Singapore, China, Malaysia, Vietnam. We work with a whole range of international lenders that help facilitate the finance for these purchases.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's very good. All right, moving on to my next question, Simon. How does foreign ownership, residency, citizenship, etc., work in the Canberra climate when people are investing in property? Basically, how can I use a property investment in Canberra as a vehicle to immigrate, to study, or to work in Australia? Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, so I guess if you are looking to study or work in Australia, first and foremost, it's important for me to point out it's cheaper to be paying off a mortgage in Canberra than it is to rent. The rents in Canberra are more expensive than Sydney, and that's houses and apartments. So it is cheaper to be paying off a mortgage than to rent. Then secondly, you're using that property to accrue points towards your permanent residency. So once you have made the purchase, you've moved here, you're studying here, you're working here, depending on what degree you're doing, depending on what kind of job, you'll start accumulating points. And at a certain point in time, you'll be able to register for your permanent residency. And having that investment property will give you an advantage over those that don't.
Very good. That makes a lot of sense. And I guess this is making more and more sense to, especially to investors who have kids who are looking, or children who are looking to study in these markets. Buying into a project like this and allowing your son or daughter somewhere to live is actually a smarter move than renting for that 5 or 6 years study, right, Simon?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Okay, so just a little bit of a summary. So we've spoken a little bit about Australia and Canberra and some of the opportunities here. Now, Simon, it'd be great if you can take a little bit of time to tell us more about GEOCON, what your firm's doing there, and give us a little bit of an idea about the opportunities that you're offering right now. And for our viewers here, if anybody's interested after you watch this video to find out more, you just need to contact Yulala and Van Lau, and our local agents are going to be able to share much deeper information about this opportunity with you. But for now, let's chat to Simon. Tell us a little bit about GEOCON, Simon.
Yeah, well, GEOCON has been around for about 15 years. We're a privately owned company. Our founder, Nick Georgalis, is our managing director. He works hands-on in the business, day in, day out. We have about 1,000 employees. We are the construction company, so we're the largest construction company in Canberra, but we only work for ourselves. We build high-density residential apartment dwellings, and we also build hotels, which we own and operate. So currently we have 8 hotels. We have 7 projects under construction in residential projects in all parts of Canberra. So we have them in the CBD, we have them in Belconnen next to the University of Canberra. We have them in Gungahlin and also Tuggeranong. So Canberra is broken up into 5 town centres. And we have projects in all town centres, some that are coming up to settlement at the end of the year, some that we have just started the construction process. So we're at a point in our cycle where we have something at all price points for all people in all areas of Canberra, which is a big advantage for us when it comes to international investors that have a very specific budget or time frame that they're looking to meet.
Oh, that's very, very good. So I think that's probably enough for today. I'm sure that our viewers are going to have follow-up questions, but these are better angled to our agents here in VNT and Lau. Obviously, you can contact us at contact@yula.la or contact@banlau.la, or you can get in touch with us through the video here. So just quickly, Simon, thank you very much again for joining us on the call today. It's been really interesting. Any final words?
No, thank you very much for having me, and yeah, look forward to continuing to strengthen our relationship over the coming months.
Fantastic, and we're looking forward to bringing over plenty of investors after the pandemic ends. Thank you very much, Simon. Have a great day, and to everybody viewing, thanks for tuning in. If you would like more information about this investment opportunity or other international property investment opportunities, you're very welcome to get in touch with the team at banlau.la or yula.la. You can contact us through the links below. And meanwhile, Simon, thank you very much for joining us today. We're looking forward to hear more from you soon.
Thanks very much, James. Thanks for having me.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, and goodbye.